the Gemara in Gittin, Daf Nunheim and Beis, and it says that Amar Rabbi Yochanan, Ma'idich Siv, Ashrei Adam Afachei Tamid. It's a pasuk in Mishlei. Fortunate is the man who is always afraid. But the one who hardens his heart, he will fall into evil. So what it's basically saying is that a person should be afraid of his actions, what the consequences will be. And then there are going to be three stories in the Gemara. One is called Kamsa Bar Kamsa, Charav Yishalayim. There was a story about Kamsa Bar Kamsa. Atanagolta, Charav Beita, Charav Turmalka. There was a different Maisa which we learned yesterday. And Saga the Rizpah, Charav Beitar. The city of Beitar was destroyed. So those were little incidents. Now we're going to explain the story of Kamsa Bar Kamsa. Kamsa Bar Kamsa, Charav Yishalayim, Hu Gavra, the Rachmei Kamsa, Hu Bal Devave Bar Kamsa. He had a friend and he had an enemy. Okay? So, Ovet Sudasa, he made a big Suda. Omer Le Lisham, he told his servant, Zil Aisili Kamsa. Bring to me the person called Kamsa, who was his friend. Ozal Aisile Bar Kamsa. He brought him the wrong person, his enemy, which the names were very similar. Oza Ashkechei Tavi Yosef. So the Balabayas, who's making the Suda, comes in. He sees Bar Kamsa's enemy. Omerle Michte Ahu Gavra Bal Devava Ahu Gavra. You know you're my enemy. So he said, yeah, my boys, what are you doing here? Now, why did he come if he knows the other person doesn't like him? Because he thought maybe he wants to do tshuva and make friends. Kumpuk, get up and go out. Omerle, Hoel, Vasoi, Shavka. I already came, leave me alone, let me stay. I'll pay for my meal, it won't cost you anything. What I eat and I drink. Omerle, Lo. I'll pay for half of the meal for all the people. Sorry, don't agree. I'll pay for the whole meal. No, it was a big embarrassment for him to have to leave. So, he took with his hands, picked them up, and threw them out. So, obviously, Bar Kamsa was very upset. Omar Hol Havi Yosvi Rabbanim Velo Michubei. The Rabbanim were there, and they didn't protest. Shmamino Konicholo. Right? I mean, that they agree. Of course, that the Rabbanim probably maybe didn't realize what was going on exactly, and surely they would have protested. It's another question the Ben Ishchai answers. Why did it say because of Kamsa and Bar Kamsa? What did Kamsa do? He didn't get invited, so he didn't do anything. So they say, the Marshal says it was a father and a son, Kamsa and Bar Kamsa. And therefore, if the father knew that his son had an enemy, he had to do, and the enemy was his own friend, he had to do something to make peace between them. So that's why Kamsa was also involved over here. Okay, but in any case, Bar Kamsa was very insulted, and he wanted to take revenge. So Bar Kamsa decided to report the Jews to the king. You should know the Jews were rebelling against you, the Roman emperor, whoever was there in that particular place. Who's going to say, I don't believe you, which is a nice thing, that he didn't want to believe it. Send them a carbon. And Chazi'im a carbon. Let's see if they're going to bring it for a carbon. Or you send them a carbon, and that'll prove if they're devoted to you. They'll bring it as a carbon. And the truth is, it says in the Torah that a guy could send a carbon to the Beis Hamikdash. Azil Shadar Biyadeh. So he sent Bar Kamsa was the shliach to bring the carbon. Egla Klasa, like the third, a calf, which was the third born to that particular mother. And the Ben Ishchai says, why did he send an egel? I mean, like Min Hashamayim was caused to be an egel because to remember that all the punishments that come to Klal Yisrael are a result of the original Egel Azov. It says, B'yom Pakti v'karati aleim chatasum, when Hashem will punish, there'll be a little bit of the Egel in every punishment. So, they would have offered it as a carbon. But what happened? This Bar Kamsa put in a mum, some sort of a blemish in the carbon, b'nifs v'sayim, either in his lips, the amrila, b'dukun shabayim. Some say it was in the eyes. Now, duchta the lididon havimuma, ulididhu la mumahu. No, it's for the Jewish people, that would be called a blemish, a mum, and therefore they could not offer it as a sacrifice, even though it's from a guy. And even though a guy, in his own laws, they did not consider that a mum. So he couldn't give it back, and they couldn't give it back and say, well, I'm sorry you sent us with a blemish, because that to them that wasn't considered a blemish. All right. Look, this is danger to life, many lives. If we don't offer it, who knows what the Roman will do? Rabbi Zechariah ben Avkulas, Yomru Balimumin Craven, the Gamizbeah. People will learn the wrong thing from this, and they will learn that you can bring a Balmum on the Mizbeach, and if we do this, we could be violating. So they said, let's kill him. We should kill him, and he won't be able to go report back that we didn't bring it as a carbon. Rabbi Zechariah Yomru Matamun B'Kochim Yehorek. That if you put a blemish into a carbon, the person gets killed. So, now he obviously had good reasons for saying one pshat. I think the Ben Ish Chai says that he was really he didn't want to make that decision. He really also agreed because of peace of Shmalchus, but he wanted the Sanhedrin to make the decision. But meanwhile, till the word got back, until he was able to ask the Sanhedrin, they already heard what happened, the Romans. So, right, so Rabbi Yochanan, Rabbi Zechariah ben Avkulas, his humility in not wanting to make that decision, Hechriva es Beisenu, Besorfa es Hecholenu, Glisonu Me'atzenu. So all this caused that we should be sent into Golas and the Beis Mikdash destroyed because of this particular thing. Now, of course, that wasn't the real cause. Obviously, the Averas that caused it, but sometimes it's like that last little step. Of course, we know that one of the Averas, the main Avera in the time of the second Beis Mikdash was Sinas Chinam, and here was a case of Kamsa Bar Kamsa, which was Sinas Chinam. By the way, Sinas Chinam probably was explained here that it doesn't mean hatred for no reason. It means a reason, but not a reason that the Torah accepts. By the way, the Ben Ish Chai makes an interesting point here that how are they going to kill him? And they'll get into bigger trouble. The king sends a shliach and they kill him. So he said what they were going to do is the following. They're going to let him go. They're going to hold on to the animal. They're going to let him go outside the door. And then they'll kill him with Shem Hashem, which they were able to do. And he'll die, and they won't know the reason, and they won't get the explanation, and they'll never know the carbon was not offered. So, right, that's the end of the first part of the story. Leniran Caesar. They sent Nero, who's one of the Romans, and he should now be sent to destroy the Beis Hamikdash, as punishment for the Jews. Kik Asi, when he came, Shalagira Lemizrach, he sent an arrow, he shot an arrow in the east, Azal Nafid B'Yushalayim. It fell in Yerushalayim. Lemarav, Azal Nafid Yerushalayim. He sent to the west, it fell in Yerushalayim. La'arbaruchos Hashemayim, Azal Nafid Yerushalayim. Whatever direction he sent it in, it fell in Yerushalayim, which was a heavenly sign that it's time to destroy the Beis Hamikdash. Now he did another thing. Omalei Liyanuka. He asked the child, Psokli Psukech. Tell me what pasuk you're learning. I will take my revenge on Edom, on Esau and the descendants, in the hands of the Jewish people. Hashem wants to destroy his house, and he wants to wash his hands on this person, means he's going to punish him afterwards. He ran away, and he went, and he became a ger, mamash a ger tzedek, v'novak minei Rabbi Meir, and came out of him Rabbi Meir. So the Ben Ish Chai says, what was the reason why he was worthy to have such a descendant like Rabbi Meir, one of the Tanoim? So he says the following. He says, first of all, he didn't destroy the Beis HaMikdash, which is the ore of the world. That's the light of the world. So he had a son Rabbi Meir, which means light. Another reason, he gave honor to the Torah by asking the child to say a pasuk, and he took it seriously. Also Rabbi Meir was very, very great in Torah. And the third reason he says is, he was impressed by a miracle, the miracle of the arrows. I mean, that had an effect on him. And he was therefore zocher to have a descendant, Rabbi Meir Balanes. So that's the end of this first part of the story. The next part is more about they send someone else, and Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai somehow is able to save a little bit before the destruction. Right, which means zocher to gula shleima b'mehira.